So are you planning to start a business in Kenya or in a different African country? Then today's video is exactly made for you. So my name is Marvin, I'm 24 years old and I moved 10 months ago from Germany to Nairobi in Kenya. And because I went through the whole process with starting a business, the registration, with getting to know the local market a bit over the past few months, I think I have some information I would have liked to know when I was starting the whole process and what could be valuable for you. So then let's dive into the video. I have 5 different aspects I want to talk about today that could be relevant for your business and also for your general knowledge about the Kenyan market. And maybe I think some of these things also apply to different African countries if you're from Europe, from a Western country. So we will talk about some key differences and aspects to factor in when you're about to start your business here in Kenya or a different African country. Number 1 is the paperwork. I think it's a very important topic to think about all the legal steps you have to go through, and because you're foreign, you're not from this country, so you have to take these things up differently. So I think this was one of the very big things I needed to factor into the whole process and the research and finding someone who can support me and my business partners, getting the visa, getting the business registered, and all these different things. So I think this is a very important factor. So first off, I need to talk from my experience. So we started the whole visa process back in last year, August. Also with the registration, we started even earlier. We started this in May. After we got the business registered, what you can actually do online, fully online, and this is something you can do by yourself. We needed some support with the visa, with all the legal paperwork, just that we get everything structured correctly in the business, and just to get some general knowledge about how everything works actually, because I know let's say the basics and a bit more in the German system, how it works, what you need to get done, where you can do it, and how long it will take. But here it's, let's say, sometimes a bit unpredictable, so let's say you need to really have a person that can support you with the process. So when you're from a different country, it's not always the same way they do things here, So even when you start, let's say, applying for the business registration, this can be pretty quick actually. This took us just 2 days or 3 business days. So what actually was pretty impressive. We could do it from Germany, so everything was fully online. This was pretty fast, but then let's say when you tap into the visa process, because when you want to actually work here and work on your business here in Kenya, you also need to get the visa that you officially can work in it, and there will be no legal issue on a later instance for you. At least for this process, you need definitely some support. What helped us, and it's also needed that you find someone who you can actually trust. Because when we did this, we just went with the first option we had because we knew him from the first time we came to Kenya and we're doing our research here and everything. But this person was a bit slow and was costing us a bit more than we wanted it to cost, or it should have cost. So it's very important to factor this into your business, and it can take a longer time. I had one case. From a guy. He was waiting for the whole process to be done for over a year, I would say. It was 13 months, 14 months or something. It was from the UK, and in the end he just went back because he didn't have the right people to support him with the process, and he wasn't okay with some of the things, so he just stopped the whole process and went back. So it's really important for you that you find the right people that can support you, a good lawyer who already actually has experience with the visa processes and business registrations and getting all the papers done the way they're supposed to be done. And it also took us 8 months, as I said earlier. Was we also picked the wrong person. Now we have someone who can actually support us in a better way, But this is a lesson I have learned. What I think is very important for you if you want to move a bit or move quick with your action steps and with everything you do. So just keep this in mind, and this will save you a lot of money. Then one last add-on to this is also that sometimes if you're not used to it, then it can be a bit disturbing, or let's say you can expect it, but sometimes still the things work differently than you think. Is in terms of sometimes you have here and there some kind of facilitation fees, So someone tells you this is what you have to do, this is how much it will be, and in the end, over the process, they will just need some extra support to actually do the work for you and to actually do some kind of these things, especially when you go through the visa process, which was one of our biggest concerns in this time, because you didn't know what to expect, That's why it's, as I said, one more time, very important to find a good person who actually gives you a clear structure of everything and who can went through the process many times, and you can just work with him, and then on the long term he can support you with these things as well. Then the second very important thing is the market dynamics. So in terms of this, you need to think about, when I came here first, we knew the market a bit. We did a lot of research in advance because we wanted to venture into, we had several ideas we wanted to come up with and to start here, and we're still doing our research actually when we came here, all the information we had beforehand, they are good, but you always see things differently if you are in the country actually. So this is one of the things you really need to consider. You need to get to the local market, you need to get to know the people, how they think, how they do business, and that also things work very often differently than we're used to, because not everything is structured, let's say, as for example in Germany, for me, or in the US, where you have a clear way of, okay, this is what I need to do, these are the things, the action steps you have to take, these are the business tools I can use to do this and this kind of process. So sometimes you tap into a bit more challenges because you really need to understand the local market, their needs, how do they think, what is in their mind when they buy products, or the behavior is different, the consumer behavior is different. So there are so many different factors you need to think about, and I think you can read a lot about it, you can talk to people a lot about it, but I think the best way is if you really are in the place or in the country for a bit, especially here. It took me, of course, I got to know the market fast because I was moving with a lot of locals. So in the first few months, still I'm moving with a lot of locals. But now I'm here for the past 10 months and I'm still getting to know new things, that you need to keep up with. Also because the government is changing some regulations, some rules, so you need to understand how this affects the market and how the people think now. Also right now there's a bit of an economic issue, of course, as it is in the whole world, but people are here now a bit hesitant to spend their money. So you need to really address their needs in terms of this, that they're willing to spend their money and to actually work with you and interact with you. Then the third thing is actually the network. So the saying that your network is your net worth. And I feel especially here in Africa, and from my experience here in Kenya, I feel this statement is even more accurate than in different places. I feel here the more people they trust you, that you can do business with and everything, the further you will go. In the past 10 months I've been making so many connections. I've been going to endless networking events, to just different places to meet people or interact with people I see, or I think they have potential in coffee shops and anywhere, wherever I go basically. And now slowly they're coming back to me and interacting with me and are interested in the services we offer. What is just for information, it's digital marketing services, so everything was online. So now they're coming on the track, So I think it's very needed or very, very important for you that when you come into Kenya or any other African country as well, I think it's very similar, that you are really focused on building a big network, because a big network, or also not just a big one, but also a network with very good connections you have, where people are all business minded, where people can support you, and with different questions you have, or can give you some referrals or whatever, what the network can be used for in the future. Don't think about it as only it's a time invest, let's say, but you will get a big return on it later on. The longer you do this, the more connections you build, the deeper the connections are, so the more trust is there, because let's say, from my experience here in Kenya, it's people, they need to trust you to do some business with you, what is of course natural, but here it's the trust comes quicker. For instance, when let's say someone introduces me to a different person, they have already a different trust when I would approach them via cold outreach or something like this, So you really need to focus that you build a network here, and even you can do it in advance before you come. If you're from a different country or like you live somewhere else right now, you can reach out to them on LinkedIn, you can reach out to them on any kind of social media where you see, okay, this is this interesting business, what could it be beneficial for you, and also of course for the other party. Then you can interact with them already in advance, and then from there on you can build these connections when you come into the country. And even then when you're here, like go out, go to a bunch of events, go to a bunch of trade fairs just to meet people, to interact with them and get to know the local. It's also supports with the local knowledge. The more you hang out with people who do business here for a long time or are locals, the more knowledge you will gain, and this will help you to further push your process much further than like if you're trying to do or just implement the knowledge you think you have and try to implement it here, because often the locals can help you very much out. So number 4 actually is, I will start this with like something like some advice someone gave me when I was in Kenya for the first time before I made the move here, was like whenever you are very flexible with your ideas, like you can adjust very quickly and like are open-minded and like are ready to take risk here, you will make it, you know. And I just say this because you need to have a high risk tolerance. Yeah. So the point number 4 is risk tolerance. I think it's wherever you start a business, you have high risk involved, of course. Yeah. But I think here it's even because you come from a different country. At least this was my experience. Because I'm from a different country, people often see some advantages in you because you come from a foreign country. They think you have like a lot of money to blow or like to spend on or to do business with. So it's always, you need to be first off good in reading people. Yeah, this helps you to like lower your risk a bit, because often they see you as like that you have a lot of money and like you still need to be very conscious, because often they offer you good options, some very interesting options where you think, oh, this is a good way to make some kind of business here, but like often there's nothing behind it, so you need to see through all of these things. Yeah? Then otherwise also in terms of risk management, like I said, business is different here than it is like in the Western countries, like from my experience. So you need to be ready to take some kind of calculated risk. You know, like you need to see like does it make sense to venture into certain things you want to venture in, you know, really analyze the market and then push forward, but like make slower process here, I feel like, you know. So when I came here, as I said, like I met so many people and all of them were so interested because I'm from a foreign country and everything, and I have knowledge in like a different area than they do. So like it's like you get offers very often, very much often. So you need to considering like what actually makes sense for you and think about if this is something you actually want to do. Another point for this in terms of risk management is also said a bit earlier in the video, is like that the economic situation here right now is not as good as it was because of course of the global financial crisis that's going on right now. Of course, here are still a lot of opportunities you can jump on. So like it's not that this is something that should hinder you to start and to pursue your business, because like maybe you heard the saying of like in every crisis there are new opportunities and new chances, so like you should still take them up, you know. Even we moved here like 10 months ago when the world situation was also not the best, yeah, and we still are making our progress and like moving forward with everything we do. So just be aware of the currency inflation, be aware of the political situation, be aware of like the whole surroundings that could influence your business in a certain way, just that you are prepared for it. Last point is point number 5, and point number 5 is actually like something I really like about Kenya. It's like the human capital, you know, like very much often when I see, let's say in Germany, first of all, it's very hard to find good employees, yeah, to find qualified people to do to work for you or to work with you. And I feel like here in Kenya there is like a lot of potential for like in terms of the people here, you know, because it's a problem here, but it's also another opportunity for us to support first of the locals, because often they have like their degrees, they have the skills, they have the knowledge, but it's just a bit tough for them to find a job. And so I think if you come up with like your plan, your business structure, they can be a very big benefit for your business to grow locally, because they have, first off, more knowledge about the local market. Secondly, they're very qualified people as well. They can support you in terms of all the things you need here, and it's still, compared to different, like to Germany or like to the US or different European countries, it's still quite affordable. You know, even if you can. My plan is always to still pay them fairly and ask what they expect, what they need to live, and like what their expectation is to get paid for. And from there on, to move on with them and just to keep them happy, and then they will do the work, of course, a bit better than when I would like lower the price or whatever. So like you have still affordable rates for in terms of the employees and the human capital with all these smart people here, but you can still implement them in your team and they help you to grow, you know? Like, so this is also another big option, I think, what can support your business in terms of the research, in terms of the marketing, in terms of whatever you need in all areas of your business. They can support you with their expertise, and yeah, this helps you just to grow your business, you know. So like building a right and the local team is very important, you know. This was one of the things I didn't factor in when I first came here, you know. I wasn't thinking about it too much. I was like, okay, I know these and these things. I think I can just implement them here and like try it out myself first in the beginning. After a while, I realized, okay, there are actually some more differences than I thought there are. So like I met up with so many like different local agencies to see like how they think, how they work and everything. And from there on, we also put some contractors, like local contractors from here in our team, just to help us with some of these things and like implement the local thinking or way of thinking, or would help benefit us, of course, our clients, and of course the local team that we're working with. So these were all the 5 things I want to talk about with you. Yeah, and I think it was a very surface like kind of information I gave you, but this is just to generally like keep you thinking about some of the things like I didn't think about in depth. Of course we did in terms of like a few things or many things, but still, whenever you go somewhere else, like there are more things that you just don't expect to need to be taken care of, yeah. And in the end of the day, I think business is risky everywhere. You have your challenges, you have your struggles, you have your hiccups, you have whatever kind of things that come into your way that makes you things or like your way of doing business a bit harder. But I think in the end, if you understand and are willingly to adapt, and as I said earlier, like you have to just be very flexible here and like ready to change your way of thinking or like implement new things here. If you are ready to do this and like very open-minded, then I think there's almost nothing that can come into your way, you know. Like be open-minded, adapt to new things, implement new structures into your business. You have to be open just to do the same things you do a bit on a different direction, or in different direction you thought they would work out sometimes here, and I think then there's almost no way of failing. Of course, it's still risky, as I said, but this will give you a big advantage in terms of like, just starting the business out here and everything. So, and another just one thing someone told me, I met on Thursday, he's from Uganda and he's doing also business in Uganda, is that just as long as you are really willing to do something, sacrifice time, put in the work, sweat for it, and you have enough patience, then it was like when you are able to make the first step into the business world here, then you are good. Then you're okay. Just the first step is the toughest one, yeah, because you have to learn so many new things. Even after me being here 10 months, I'm still learning so many new things and like spending time with so many amazing people that teach me things, where I learn a lot from them. And I think this is your way to go, you know, like be ready, be open for the challenge, and then I think Africa is the place to be at the moment, like also for the future. So then thank you so much for watching the video, and in case you have any thoughts, what I didn't think about or what I can talk about in the next video, or like if you are on the same journey to move to Kenya or a different African country, put it in the comments down below that I can learn something from you, and like maybe we can connect, and then I will hopefully see you in the next video. Thank you so much.